Hello, today I will be recapping my two interviews I did for the final project with the interview leaders. My first interview was with Jack Volpe. He's a transfer portal scout for the UF football team. We did the interview over Zoom, and the interview was about 22 minutes. Three questions that I asked him and we talked about was, first, is it challenging picking which players to give offers to and which players you're rejecting? And he really went into about how it's part of the business and you have to learn to not just put these players aside and not care about them anymore, but maybe help them get another connection with another school or tell them what to do next in their future or stuff like that. So that was interesting, learning about how he deals with that ethical situation. I also asked him what was the best way to get a position like this at an SEC school, at such a big opportunity that thousands of kids want. And he talked about how you just have to go into these interviews confident, be yourself, give them a good resume, make sure you have a good resume, and just keep doing as many opportunities as you can, and you'll finally, one day, someone will notice you and you'll get the job you want. Also, he is a full-time student at UF as well. So I asked him, how do you manage your workload being a full-time student and working a job like this? He talked about how he had to, at first he was very unorganized, but he had to make a schedule, and every day he makes sure he wakes up, finishes all his homework, goes to class, then goes to work, and then goes home, studies for his test, goes to work, and then he can relax. And he said that he has to be very disciplined in order to do this, and that's the only way he could really get that much work done. I learned a lot in this interview. I learned about how the transfer portal works now, the ins and out of college scouting. I also learned how he deals with these ethical hardships, as I talked about before, which was very interesting, actually hearing it from someone in the business. And I was surprised that he actually told me he was making scouting websites in 9th grade and so on, and got hired by multiple scouting publishers and websites like that, and was actually helping UF find players even in high school. And he talked to me about how his dad played college football and he always loved college football and was made a future out of something he loved, which was very interesting to me. And it was a very great interview. And I got his number and his phone and his email, and I've been staying in touch with him since that interview, and I'm hoping that he gives me opportunity. So he told me that the next time something comes up, he will text me about it, which I'm excited about. My second interview is with Alan Brown. He used to work for public relations for the Miami Marlins and Slim Fast Gatorade in the 80s, and he also was the VP of communications for 790 The Ticket, a South Florida local radio show that I listened to. I did this interview over Zoom. It was about 23 minutes long. And what is interesting about Alan Brown is when he was 20, he got into a surfing accident and he's actually paralyzed from the neck down, but still followed his dreams of being successful in the sports world. So I was very excited to ask him how he did this and what's the best way to combat something like this. So the first question I asked him was how he preserved through the injury and was able to get a job with a professional baseball team and radio shows. And he went on to explain that, yes, people are going to look at him differently and stuff like that, but he can't pay any mind to it. And when he gets these opportunities, he gets these interviews, he shows the people who he really is. And just because he's not standing up like everyone else, or he might not be able to move around like everyone else, he still has the qualifications and the skills to help these companies and teams, which made him get the job. I also asked him how he handled people treating him differently, and he said that if people are treating him differently, they're not worth his time, and that he doesn't pay mind to it, because with stuff like that, you just have to focus on getting the work done and making whatever company you're working for better. And I also asked him his best advice for getting opportunity in the sports world, and he said over and over and over, reach out to as many people as you can. Try to get as many internships and opportunities as you can, and those people will learn to know you, learn to see that you are beneficial to them, and you'll end up getting opportunities down the line. This was a very helpful interview for me. It actually taught me a lot about combating all these ethical issues in the sports world. I followed him up after thanking him again for doing the interview, and he told me that if there's anything in the future that I can reach out to him and help him. So if I do need something in the future, that's a good connection to have. Thank you for listening to my recap of my two interviews. this was a very interesting assignment, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.